Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Ultimate Hang, and today I've got a really cool hammock to show you, the Haven tent. We're gonna take it out with the motorcycle today because this hammock is perfect for moto hammocking. Okay, a couple of things about the Haven tent before I really get set up. There are currently 3 different versions of this tent. I have 2 of them. The regular Haven, they've got the Haven XL, and then they've got the Haven Safari. And they really just are going up in dimensions and versatility, really, you know, the different options that they have. This is the kit right here. This is the Haven, this is the XL. And right off the bat, you can probably tell it's a pretty cool kit. It's all inclusive. Everything is really in here. You see, I've got the actual hammock here. This is the pad. It's designed to all go together. I think you can buy the pad separately. I don't know if you can buy the tent separately. Maybe you can. I'll have to double check. It's really cool because they are purpose designed to go together. I would almost call it like a hybrid tent, and you're going to see that in a minute because the base design is very similar. In fact, it's constructed as a bridge style hammock, and I've done a couple of bridge style hammocks recently. You can check out these extra reviews, which is essentially like a suspension bridge. So that's what really allows this hammock to have that perfectly flat lay, or what feels just like so perfect head to toe kind of flat lay with spreader bars on the ends to kind of keep things wide. But where this one differs from most spreader bars is that it drops on the head and foot end more significantly, and it reminds me a lot of like these old maritime hammocks like back in the 1700s. In those sailing ships, the officers, I would call it the officer hammock, which is, it's kind of like this boxy design, which again is intended to lay flat with spreader bars on the end. Now, where Haven has really improved on those designs, not only on that officer hammock, but also on the bridge style hammock, is that the pad, the integration of the pad pulls out those sides. So if you remember, if you've seen my reviews on some other bridge style hammocks, one of my complaints has been that while I do have a nice flat head to toe lay, there's still often some shoulder squeeze because you still have that curvature, and sometimes it's really bad because it's so narrow. This hammock, in contrast, because of the pad, and you're going to see that, it just completely flattens that shoulder out. You can sleep on your stomach, your side, your back. It's no big deal. So this one is the XL. We're going to set up the XL today, and then all you've got to provide is your insulation, like a nice cozy blanket. I'd probably recommend a pillow as well, and let's go for it. Hey, real quick, let's talk about dimensions because a lot of people ask me about the dimensions. The Haven hammock, here's my opinion. It's heavy, but as you can see, it packs down great. That's why I love it for car camping or motorcycle camping, because it packs just a good size for that. Yes, you can go backpacking with it. I'm sure people will, but let me just give you a couple of these dimensions. So the Haven, the base model is 6 pounds, and that's the whole kit, 6 pounds. So honestly, that's pretty heavy for a solo shelter if you're thinking about backpacking. But again, I would not consider this necessarily a backpacking style hammock. Certainly there are people that will take hammocks like this or tents like this backpacking, but it's a pretty high weight ratio in terms of it's a solo shelter. You're not able to really fit any more people, so that's a big weight. So that's about 3 kilograms. The Haven XL that I've got here, it's just about 8 pounds. I think it's 7 whatever, 3.5 kilograms. The Safari version is 12.5 pounds, 6 kilograms. So that's a big guy. But again, you're going to get, it's a much more robust hammock. The weight capacity for this guy is about 200, maybe close to 300 pounds. The Safari is the one, if you're above 280 pounds, you want to get the Safari. And then in terms of size, you know, you really are measuring the pad. These pads this one is 76 inches. I think the Safari might go up to 80 inches in terms of size, length, as well as the width. Now, for me, after testing both the Haven and the XL, I would much prefer the XL. If I were to recommend you get the Haven, get the XL. You're going to love that extra shoulder room. It just feels that much cozier. And since you've already got a little bit of the weight penalty already, just up a pound and go get the XL. Now, here's another really cool feature. By the way, the designer of this hammock, his name is also Derek, and I've met him personally. In fact, he has family that lives not far away from me. So I just want to give a shout out to Derek. Thank you so much for letting me test and look at these hammocks. They're awesome. I also got to meet Derek at the Florida Hang back in January. It was great to meet up with him. He was showcasing his safari hammocks. They are awesome, and he's done a great job of really all of the attention to detail. And here's one of them. So, as probably a lot of you, if you've ever had an inflatable mattress like this, they can be a pain. You can certainly inflate these with your mouth, but Haven has included the stuff sack doubles as an inflation tube. So you can see the nozzle here at the end fits right in here. Once you get it put together, you really just open it up. In fact, it actually has an extra collar here. Just open it up, collapse it, and you've got it full of air. You just roll it in. And you just repeat that process to fill it up. And you don't have to blow in this or anything. You just collapse it and blow it up. Now, that's the slow way, but it's not like a huge big deal. Derek has also provided me, that's not that, it's this right here, this power pump. This is awesome. This is another accessory that Derek sells, but I highly recommend it. It's this really cool pump, but it also doubles as a power source. So you can it's got a USB charger and a USB-C to not only power the pump, you can recharge your phone, you can recharge, in fact, he's got these cool ridge lights that you can power a ridge light with, really cool. But essentially, this power pump makes it super easy to inflate the Haven, which we're gonna do right now and save ourselves some time. These insulated pads are pretty awesome too because the diaphragm here allows the air to go in, but keeps it from popping out, which is really nice. I recommend filling it up, just not super full, but you can really change that depending on what you want to do or what comfort level you have for sleeping. But anyway, highly recommend. This is a cool little feature. This power pump comes extra along with the Ridgeline lights. All right, now that I've got the pad pumped up, let's go put up the hammock. All right, I want to show you something too. The Haven hammock or the Haven tent is designed to really use daisy chain style straps. So if you have some daisy chain straps, that's what you can, they've got these carabiners on the end. It makes it really easy to clip up. Today, I did not bring my daisy chain, so I'm going to use my different straps, which is okay. The Haven comes with the spreader bars. The really nice spreader bars actually have the elastic to keep everything together. They remind me a lot of those DAC poles. They snap together really nice. Closed on the ends into the pockets on each side. So some people have asked, can you lay in the hammock without the pad? Yes, you probably could, but I don't recommend it. There's no real structural support. You will literally just sink and curl up and no bueno. So you definitely want to put the pad in. Inside the Haven, there's like these little pockets in the corner that just keep kind of hold everything together. That's why I pumped up the pad first. And there you go. Now, the tarp, you can see I've got the bug net. We've got zippers on both sides, so you can pull it up. It has keepers on the ridge line, so if you wanted to kind of open it up, you could roll this bad boy up on both sides, or like what I've done here is just flip it open. I'm gonna kind of keep the zippers closed on one side. I don't ever recommend pulling on those spreader bars when you get into it. They're not designed to hold your weight like a pull-up bar. It's really just to help pull up. You can see that catenary curve and the suspension style bridge, right? Here you've got the bridge. There's the flat lay. Like with most suspension style hammocks like this, you might want to pitch it just a tiny bit lower than you might think because the spreader bars and the pad kind of help pull it up. So like any hammock, I try to aim for a sit height. This one I could probably push it up just a little bit higher, but this is it. We got it set up. We've got organization pockets on both sides, so there's really not a head or foot end. You can go whichever way you want. The zippers have a great feel, a great flow. Never had sagging or snagging. The only real complaint about the zipper is just that you have one zipper, so you've kind of got to reach up to get it going. the way the tarp is designed, it's supposed to be integrated into the suspension. You can see there are toggles on the corners and keepers to toggle that tarp down. It does kind of have maybe an unfinished look to it, only because it's not like I think a lot of people expect tarps to be taut and really pulled out tight, similar to like the Lawson hammock that has that integrated shell. There are some pros and cons, right? I mean, I haven't had any complaints about the tarp. You know, it's not going to blow off, for example, and it's going to keep you dry. It just kind of, you know, looks saggy. However, you can pitch it. There's guy line, and they've got the pullouts. So if you wanted to, you could pitch it out. And honestly, this is where with integrated hammocks and integrated hammock tarps, whether that's the Hennessy or the Lawson or the Haven, is I actually do prefer setting the tarp separate from the hammock. And honestly, it's not because this doesn't work or any of the other styles don't work. It's really just because it gives me more options. And for example, if I'm camping with my motorcycle, maybe I would opt for a slightly bigger tarp, and I could pull that tarp out. I could tuck my motorcycle right beside me, and I'm going to stay dry, and my motorcycle is going to stay dry. In addition, I can set that tarp in different modes, right? By just the tie outs. Even if I left it on here, using the tie outs, I could, you know, create a porch mode with pulling this tarp out if I wanted to. I can pin it down really tight in a storm situation. So it's independent of the hammock. So the hammock I could have up or down, but I can have the tarp also modular. So again, nothing wrong with the tarp itself. It functions just great. It's designed to hang just like I showed you. But if you want to have more options, go ahead and get a bigger tarp. This hammock doesn't have the biggest ridgeline length, so you don't have to get like a super huge tarp if you don't, in terms of ridgeline length, but it is a great option. So really we're looking at like the pad itself is, what did we say, 80 inches at most, and you add maybe a foot on either side, but it's all enclosed here too with sil nylon, so you don't have a ton more to cover. Actually, it's a nice compact shelter. You can see here tons of room. Hey guys, I want to thank you so much for following my video today. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe on YouTube. Hey, I want to have a shout out again to Derek. Thank you so much for letting me test the Haven tent. This is an awesome hammock. It has all kinds of features, come all in one. You guys got to check it out. Go over to Haven Hammocks. You can check out all the specs, all the different versions online, and be sure to check out my book, theultimatehang.com, on Amazon, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.